going on? RGIJ is back, baby.
All right, so what's up, man?
What's going on? How's everything?
I was telling you, like, we're doing this a little bit early since the wife got some fever, so we're trying to help out. And are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. And I know you told me that, and I asked about COVID, and it's funny because
Oh, it's funny now.
because society is getting out of control with COVID, right?
Yeah.
My buddy went on a cruise, Carnival, I think it was. The cruise leaves. It's in the ocean. All of a sudden, the captain is positive for COVID. So they can't port nowhere.
Right.
So his destinations got cut out. So then, check this out. All of a sudden, if you're a passenger on the ship and you're feeling sick, you go to the doctor, you say, hey, I think I'm feeling sick. They say, okay, come with us. They do a COVID test. If you turn out positive, they designated the second floor of the ship as the COVID ward. They stuck them in a room in the ship, locked the door, but they'll bring you food here and there. But it's like, knock, leave the tray on the floor. You open the door, you pull the tray in, you eat, put the tray out, they come collect it. Dude, over 109 crew members or something like that tested positive for COVID on that ship. The whole second floor was barricaded with just fucking people in these little tiny ass closet rooms just fucking chilling because they couldn't do anything else. And it kind of sucked that they didn't find out the captain until they already departed land. Like they were already in the water. So for 4 days, I think his cruise was like 6 days. For 4 days, these motherfuckers were out in the middle of the ocean because they couldn't impact any other destinations that they were going to. Right. You know what I'm saying? So even now, like I read this article where in New York, I don't know if you've seen this, in New York, this fucking teacher, and I know it's crazy in New York. New Yorkers are insane. They're out of control. This teacher went, and I think it might have been high school. This teacher went, had a student, and he fucking injected him with the COVID vaccine because the kid was unvaccinated. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So they arrested the teacher, of course. He violated whatever law and everything else. And then they had another one, I think it was in New York as well, where the mother got arrested for putting her son in the trunk to prevent him from getting exposed to COVID while they were going to do additional testing and everything else. I'm like, what is going on, man? Like, society right now is just getting fucking out of control. And I mean, we've had talked about COVID before and everything else, but it's like, it's not going anywhere. I don't think it's ever going to leave. I mean, there's talks about a new variant being found in fucking France or whatever the case may be. I feel like it's just going to transform to like the flu. Every year, instead of a flu shot, you get a booster shot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to go anywhere. I don't see it disappearing. I don't see it fucking being gone. I don't see Dr. Fauci or anybody coming on TV and say, yo, we beat COVID. COVID's done. See you later. Especially with the cruises back up and running, the flights back up and running, people going from country to country. Like my brother went to church and his pastor was home sick from COVID. So he did like a little teleservice, video service. But he got it because he was in Africa doing his church duties. And when he got back from Africa, COVID, positive. Colombia, you cannot leave unless you have a positive COVID test going out. My buddy was telling me his friend was stuck for like 20 days in Colombia because he kept testing positive for COVID. Dude, it's too much. Honestly, like if that teacher did that to my son, I probably would have been arrested because I would have been beating that teacher's ass. And the mom sticking her kid in the trunk. But the whole thing with these is there's no logic behind any of their actions. Especially the mom putting your kid in the trunk. Like, what the fuck? I just don't get it, man. Society, to me, is falling apart, man. I think it's just going crazy.
They're just scared, man. It's just, like, it depends on where you're looking at in life right now. Like, any kind of news source, any of that stuff, like, man, they're just fear, man. And so people are acting what happens when you deal with fear. and that's irrational, right? Like, you know, it's like someone's like, "Hey, are you gonna eat, like?" Because I got sick and I got fear. Like, "Hey, so was it COVID?" Like, "Oh, like, I don't know." Did I even test it? And so, like, I had a conversation with a doctor. Well, I had my I guess my phone interview with my doctor or some shit like that, right? That's a clusterfuck as fuck. But anyways, so I have this interview with my doctor, and he's asking me, he's like, "Yeah," I was like, "Yeah, I was sick." And he was like, "Okay." I was like, "But I don't leave the house though." And he's like, "Okay." I was like, "Yeah, I just stay home. Like, I don't really go nowhere." So I'm like, I don't really care. I'm good. We're gonna do exactly what we've done before. You know, my wife and I were talking about this as soon as the stuff came out. It's like, there are gonna be a new variants. Every time there's a shot, there's gonna be a requirement for a new shot. So it's crazy though. It's like, if you look at where people are at right now, it's like the level of, I'm tired of this shit. So it depends on the level of I'm tired of it. If they're tired of it, then they'll be like, all right, you're trying to look at it and be like, okay, I'm getting a little questionable. There's some people that are still in the game and they're terrified as shit.
Yes.
And, you know, they will turn on anybody in a heartbeat. The only thing that's hilarious about it is that there's 50 states. So there's 50 different, like, kind of like little things, trials going on like what it's like. And, you know, Florida and Texas, we're looking at everyone like, some of you are like, "Oh, are fucking nuts, man. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are insane."
Yeah.
You know
I mean, my governor is all about just living the way you live. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're going to keep the protocols in place. Yeah, you know, social distance and everything goes. But just don't be fucking idiotic about it. You know what I'm saying? The main thing, again, that's why I say the logic sometimes not there, is if you're feeling sick, you're coughing, you're sneezing, whatever the case may be, they tell you, stay your ass home. Why the fuck are you still gonna go out and about knowing, even before COVID, even if you were just getting regular sick, why the fuck you leaving your house knowing that you could get other people sick? Why do that? You know what I'm saying? So I like that Florida is like, we're not gonna deny you your liberties. Like, you are still humans, go out and fucking live your life, but at the same time, use that common sense to say, yo, if I'm not feeling good today, I'm gonna call my job and say, hey, I'm feeling sick. Go see your doctor, you know, get tested. If it turns out positive, quarantine, whatever. But don't fucking try to hide shit. Don't be putting your kid in the trunk. Don't be fucking injecting people just because they're unvaccinated and you're like scared that, oh, he doesn't have the vaccine, I might get exposed. But again, New York is a whole beast in itself, man. It's fucking nuts. But I just feel like society is just losing it, man. That's why sometimes, like, I don't really care to read the news, because again, it's just stupidity out there that people are doing. I mean, I look at it more just because it's interesting and funny to talk about now that we're doing the podcast and everything. And like, I just have to laugh because I'm like, dude, how do you wake up and you're like, hey, Junior, get in the fucking trunk because I don't want you to be exposed to COVID. Yeah. Okay, Mom, let me get in the fucking trunk and sit here for however many hours you're going to be driving around because I don't want to get fucking COVID. It's going to happen. Eventually, everybody's going to experience it. Everybody's going to get it, whether you're vaccinated or not, because even if you're vaccinated, you still could contract it. Like, it's going to happen. Yeah. But just live the fucking normal life, man. Live the normal life.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy is, like I said, man, you talk to some of these other people, and I'm like, holy shit, y'all still in lockdown? Like, yeah, we've been in lockdown this long. You're like, y'all are insane for putting up with that dumb shit, man. Because here in Texas, man, we just said no. And what's great, what I like about it, though, is, like, there's people who wear masks and people who don't. And nobody, like, at least what I'm seeing. Again, I'm not that often. Yeah. I'm out, like, every so often. So, but the moment you do, like, you see somebody with a mask, you're like, okay, what's up, man? People without a mask, what's up? Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like free. Like, if you want to wear it, cool, that's on you, man. If you don't, cool, that's on you again. It's just crazy, man, to see how, like, friendships, like my wife had a friend, man, she won't talk to her no more because, you know, they were asking her, and she said how she felt. And, you know, that friend won't talk to her. And we're talking about, like, a good friend, like, years. Yeah. Like, we've helped that person out. Right. And that, you know, just because of what's going on right now, they consider it selfish or whatever. And it's like, that's wild, man. Like, you're telling me based off of this. But, you know, like I've always said, man, like, ain't nobody really ever talking about being healthy. They're always just talking about the shot. And that's kind of always my biggest dilemma with a lot of these problems. But motherfuckers are acting irrational, man. Like, if you're putting your kid in the trunk, it has to be like, it should be a joke. It should be a funny story, like, you know, hey, I got a Porsche and, like, whatever, and you're in the trunk, haha, whatever. But if you're like, no, I'm scared of my safety, it's like, like, that's sad, right? Like, that one is sad. Poor kid, man. Poor kid who has to be, especially the dumbass kid who's like, okay, You know what I mean? Right. And then, you know, imagine you're that person who opens the trunk. You're like, your kid's in the fucking trunk. Like, yeah, he's positive. You're just looking around like, are you fucking stupid? Like, how much are you believing this shit? You know what I mean? It's like,
it's gotta suck for the mom when the kid turns out positive for COVID, and the whole time he's been in the trunk for fucking weeks to go on. Yeah. Hopefully he wasn't gonna get exposed.
She pops positive, and he's like, "I got your ass now. Watch this shit. I'm gonna
come here, Mike. I'm gonna give you a fucking hug right now." But yo, besides that, that's fucking nuts, man. It's crazy. So let me get on my rant here about this fucking Gen Zers. Okay. There's two things that I want to talk about Gen Zers today. And one of them, I was talking with some of my friends yesterday about Gen Zers. So the first is, I told you and I shared with everybody that my nephew's in the Navy.
Right.
We have shared that you and I, when we're in basic training, the letters, the mail that come in, they were happiness for us because we knew, so, you know, we were getting mail. We were wanting to read what was going on back at home, whatever the case may be. I get a Gen Zer who's a friend of my nephew. He texts me a picture. And he says to me, he goes, Theo, is this right? And the picture is of an envelope. Because he didn't know what goes where to send a letter out, okay? So I'm looking at it and I'm like, how do you not know how to fucking send a letter out? Like, I get it that this doesn't exist down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cell phone does not exist. You cannot text your boy. He needs letters from you guys so he can fucking know what's going on. Text messaging or phone call is not going to happen. So he puts the picture on, and in the middle has the naval base address. He has the stamp. So I said, okay, very good. I said, but you're missing one piece. I say, on the top left-hand corner, you need to write your address so he knows who it's coming from. He responds back, I already sent it. You think he's going to get it? And I was like, I'm pretty sure he's going to get it, but he just won't know who it's from until he opens the mail. But his reaction was like, oh, fuck, I messed up. And I'm just like, dude, how do you not know how to do a letter? YouTube that shit. You guys are so fucking hooked on YouTube. YouTube how to fucking send out or mail out a letter. It's insane.
So actually, while you were talking about it, I'm like, let me look this up on YouTube. No joke.
Uh-huh.
There's a video that said how to address / fill out an envelope 4 years ago. That bitch has 7,500 and like.
You can't make that shit up.
It has 751K views.
Yeah, dude, you can't make this shit up, man. And it's like, again, you know, some of the things that people are like, these Gen Zers are missing out on is cursive. You know, we talked about writing in script. A lot of these kids, if I tell them, show me your signature, they have no fucking clue what that is. They don't even know how to write in cursive their signature block. You know what I'm saying? So here's another thing about Gen Zers. And this is why I feel like, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Idiocracy, but you must watch that movie. It's an old school movie. It's about this man that he becomes the president of the United States based off the fact that he has common sense. Because he's in the future and the future doesn't understand shit like how to mail out a letter, how to do anything. So these Gen Zers, sons of bitches,
Jesus,
they came up with this fucking term. It's called chuggy. Have you ever heard of chuggy?
No.
Have you ever heard your older daughter saying these kids are chuggy?
My daughter speaks pure Japanese, and she.
Okay. No. All right. So chuggy, you and I are chuggies. Okay. And I'm going to explain to you what chuggy is. These Gen Zers have created a list. And what this list is if you're a millennial, okay, born 1990s, whatever, all the way to whatever millennial ends, they said that a chuggy is a person from that era that were doing stuff based off their list that they considered to be whack, like it's tacky. So if you did this, you were considered a chuggy. The first one was a side part. You remember the show Wonder Years? I don't know. Some people will comb their hair to the side. If you did that, you were a chuggy. Per the Gen Zers, okay? That means you weren't cool. You were whack. Skinny jeans. If you rock skinny jeans, you were considered a fucking chuggy. I can't. I don't know where these kids get it from, where they come up with these fucking these terms or anything like that. If you wore graphic tees, you know how people would have like a t-shirt with crosses on them, you know, like just different things like the MMA gear and things like that. You were considered a chuggy. You're whack. Like you're not on their Gen Zers level. Your style is whack. Like you're not cool at all. And I'm like, I'm a big fucking chuggy, man. Because when I was going to school, I would part my hair to the side. That was my hairstyle. I still wear some graphic tees onto this day. You know what I'm saying? I at one point did dye my hair blonde. If you had blonde hair, you're a chuggy. You weren't allowed to do that. So I said to my friends, I was like, isn't it funny how these Gen Zers are rocking Champion, the brand Champion, like is the shit. Back in my days, when we first started rocking Champion, that shit was whack. Like, the only time I wore Champion gear was to go play basketball or workout. Like, that was my workout gear. I would be damned if I came outside in front of my stoop to hang out with my boys and say, yo, check out this fucking Champion shirt, Champion sweater, or whatever. But now you got Gen Zers fucking rocking this shit like it's like the Adidas from back in the days, like there's no tomorrow. But that's cool for them, that they're okay to do that. So what do you think about these fucking Gen Zers and the term chuggy and them creating a list based in how we were growing up and how we would dress and everything else to be considered fucking whack?
Honestly, I could care less because if you have a conversation with these kids, you're like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they act this way and you're just like, and it's like, dude, I get it, man. When I was your age, I thought I was a shit. I thought everything we were doing, like, you know, we thought it was a shit too. It was like, it's just the cycle. It goes, cool, man. But, you know, like when it comes to these, like some of these kids, like, the way they talk, it's just like, yeah, man. It's like I'm old enough now to go through a couple cycles of this and be like, yeah, you'll be exactly where I am in a couple years. You know, you're gonna grow old too. You know,
yes.
And then you're gonna have kids, and they're gonna have friends, and you'll be like, your friends are fucking morons. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean? It's just how it goes. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people who thought I was a moron. Probably still am. You know what I mean? So I don't care.
It's insane though, because you would think like it would be looked at as you sharing knowledge as time goes on. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, grateful that my brothers they show me about polo, you know, Guess, chaps, how to dress with this, how to dress with that. You know what I'm saying? How to certain manners and everything else. I didn't look at them and say, yo, these motherfuckers are whack. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at them like these fucking baby boomers don't know what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. There was times that my father wore outfits that I was like, yo, what the fuck is he wearing? You know what I'm saying? Like wearing the socks up to the knees with some jean shorts, you know, some ponies. And I'm like, damn, Dad, but hey, it is what it is. That's what you like. That's what you like. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't categorize him to be like, damn, these fucking baby boomers is a fucking chuggy. Like, I'm just like, dude, really? And the problem is a lot of them are like they get this fucking freedom to where they could put shit like this, create shit like this, and then they get a bunch of idiot followers that want to fucking roll with it, just like the whole cancel culture. Just how they cancel my Pepe Le Pew that I used to watch on Looney Tunes. They say he's a fucking predator. Like, come on, dude. Really? Like, it's just fucking insane, man. Well, I don't know.
You know what's crazy is, like, the older you get, it's like you kind of understand that old guy in the gym who's just, like, butt-ass naked, who don't care. You understand them a little bit more every day. You're just like, yeah, like, it comes to a point where you're just, I don't care. Like, you know, right. Like, hey, you know, someone's like, hey, I saw you naked. You're like, I don't care. Like, stare, don't stare, look away, look up, not, like, do your own thing. I think that's what it is, man. You're like, the younger you are, you're just not really confident in yourself. So you come up with these little terms, and everyone else around you is not confident. So the most confident one seems to get all the
yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you know, being an older guy, you look at that person and you're like, all right, man, go ahead, man, have fun.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I could care. Like, I don't even value your opinion. I don't value anything what you're really saying. But it only comes with time of like really being comfortable in my own skin to know like I'm not really worried what a 15, 16-year-old kid does. Like, because even with their dressing, you're just like, bro, you can't even buy that shit yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I look at you as a pussy in a sense of because like you're weak, and I know exactly where this goes in a couple years where, you might be this way or that way, but
Yeah.
bro, you're gonna be 20, and the way you're acting now, like you're gonna have to man up. And the way things is going in life, in my personal opinion, we're gonna come up to there's gonna be a harder time in about 10, 15 years, where these young kids are gonna grow up, these things that act this way, and they're gonna have to learn the hard truth because their parents ain't doing it for them, and like they're gonna have to wear Champion, not because it's like it's a fad, because it's cheap. You know what I mean?
Cheap.
Yeah, I mean, like certain things you wear, like you're gonna have to wear Hanes, you're gonna have to wear just white T-shirts. You're gonna, you know what I mean? In the 50s, they were wearing a lot of these things, not because it was the best thing in the world, because it was cheap. Yeah, and I think that's coming around.
Yeah, just like, for example, the Lee pants. In my young days, I would not try not to wear Lee pants. Nowadays, I'm like, yo, that shit's on sale for like $5. Fuck it, man. It's a pair of pants. You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand, like, the brand doesn't mean shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Now you're to the level of where you're doing the whole cost analysis. Like, what can I get for fucking $30? Right. Versus me buying one shirt, one pants for $400 when I'm only gonna wear it once in a blue. And these kids, like you said, they're gonna have to learn that. But like I told my friends, I said, we have to blame their parents, because their parents probably entitled them to have so much shit and give them so much shit where they don't realize that where the hardships are gonna be at. Where do I need to learn that we're gonna fucking have to bust my ass to get what I need to get? I mean, there were times that on Christmas time, my other siblings couldn't get a gift because mommy just didn't, and daddy didn't just have the money for it. You know what I'm saying? So if 1 out of the 5 got Christmas, then that's what it was. 1 of the 5 got Christmas, But these kids, and I'm just laughing because I'm like, who gives you the authority to even think that you could come up with names and categories for other people in the past? You know what I'm saying? Like, what entitles you to be much higher and almightier than fucking these people behind you? You know what I'm saying? Or in front of you, the years behind. I'm just like, these fucking knuckleheads are ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Like I said, I can relate to a lot of that stuff, man. There was, there was like, I don't know, whatever it was, like some of the music I used to listen to. I try to listen to it now. I'm like, Jesus, like, man, like, because like it had no value or anything like that. It was just kind of saying random shit sometimes, whatever it is, right? But I think a lot of it is, like I said, it just repeats. I'm looking at
it's the cycle, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why like it comes and goes. I'm pretty sure they're like, haha, and they're making fun of you, and you're just sitting there saying, like, bro, you can't even afford shit. Like, I'm the one making fun of you now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course, there's these people that feel like, and there's some people that are our age that can get bullied because they were like kind of pussified their whole life, and they can be bullied by these kids because of that. Right. There's a lot of people who have been through a lot of things that are like, I mean, like, bro, this ain't like, you're gonna call me a name, cool. I can care less, man. I've literally like been caused physical pain by people instead of like call me a name. So it's like it's funny, but that's what I do love about the generations coming in, because it's only like it helps me understand more and more the older person, where they're just like look at you and just be like, this is why I'm a grumpy old man. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just I just don't care, and I'm tired of all these little kids shit. So I'm just gonna tell them to fuck off. I already know
I'm gonna do like that. I'm gonna do like the end of the movie Step Brothers. I just go to the playground and just start beating up all these little. But I just feel bad for like the kids that are coming up now, because they're just gonna get dumber. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna come up with more corny shit, more stupid lists, things that don't even pertain or make sense to everyday life. But yet they're going to try to make it like this is what's cool and this is what's hip. You know what I'm saying? And my nieces that are 3, that are coming up, they're going to start going to middle school and everything. They're the ones who are going to face the backlash of that shit, because if you're not cool, then you're not the popular kid, then nobody wants to fucking hang out with you, and so on and so forth. But I'm just like, these fucking kids are just, they're idiotic.
I think a lot of it when it comes down to bullies, I think if you're prepared for that shit, like I told my daughter, like, she's 8, so she's getting ready to gear up to that one. And I told her from the get-go, like, man, like, you don't bully nobody. If I find out you bully somebody, that's your ass. If one of your friends gets bullied, you have permission to, like, let that person know what's up. But also, I told her, too, before, it's like, you know what? Like, if there's a bully, like if nobody picks on, like if you're a fat person, right? You got picked on in high school. But if you were a mean fat person who beat the shit out of people, nobody would say shit to your face. And there was a girl I went to school with, like she was a big girl, but she would throw people into like guys into a wall. So guess what? She would walk by, you wouldn't say, you know what I mean? So it's like there's a thing for bullies, yes and no, but it's like there's also a way where if you're big enough, or not even big enough, if you just stand up for that shit, you know, even if you have a bully who wants to punch you, if you know how to defend yourself, man, you will fuck that dude up, and or a girl or whatever, because girls are mean as fuck too. Yeah. But I think if you know how to handle yourself, that takes away the power of the bully. And I think, like, you know, we come from a generation where we had TV and we had like latchkey kids and da 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 da. Now they have the internet, so they're not used to it. Which you would think now, like, if somebody was to be on the internet bullying me, I'd just be like, okay, I'll just exit out of the program or exit out of this. Exactly. Done. Yeah. But these kids don't do that, right? So it's crazy. Like, you would think it'd be a little bit easier now, but I think if we start giving those kind of those things to people and let them know, like, man, like, they can come at you all they want, but a real bully is just you go up to them, you confront them in a sense, right? And you're gonna find out they're a scared little little piece of shit. They're scared, and that's why they're mean. Their dad beats them, or you know, they have a horrible home, etc. And the only way they feel any kind of joy is by bringing everyone back to their level.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's gonna take for us, the older ones that are ahead of them and everything else, to fucking try to share that knowledge with them and the wisdom to fucking prepare them for what to expect for the years to come and everything else. Which brings me to, I'm going to Chicago this weekend. So my nephew's graduating basic training on Friday, which I'm excited about. And I actually want to read a letter that I got from basic training. So, you know, basic training, it could make or break you. You know what I'm saying? Basic training, because the TIs are yelling at you. They either put you in charge of some people, and if those people aren't doing shit right, then that's your ass too. And you know, it really instilled sort of an intimidation from these TIs, because they're like, holy shit. You know, if they called your name, you were running to them, you know, or make your reporting statement, whatever the case may be. Again, letters for me was like, I always enjoy getting letters, because it gave me that sort of like that comfort to be like, I could get through this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to read you just certain things. And I know this might sound bad, but for you and I, we're going to probably be laughing, because other people who don't know military are going to be like, damn, that's fucked up. Why are they laughing at this kid's letter? So this one was partly one of his first ones that he sent, because we haven't heard from him in a while, right? So we're like, yo, we haven't heard from him. It's been like 3 weeks. Like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? So this was back in December, right? So he writes to his dad, and of course he incorporated me into the letter. I'm not going to read it like word for word, but I'm just going to read like little excerpts that he put in there. So he goes, "Hey Dad, I'm scared and depressed." And I'm like, I looked at his dad and I said, yo, he's only been in there for 2 weeks. Like, what the fuck is happening in Navy boot camp that he's already want to put a fucking rope around his neck and call it a day, right? He goes, "It's so hard. It really is." He says, "I try every day to tell people to straighten themselves out, but they won't, Dad." He goes, "We are the worst division ever." And I'm sitting there, you know, I'm trying to be for real with my brother. Like, I'm like, damn, you know, he's struggling. Dude, I start crying. I can't hold it in, man. He goes, "Dad, the chiefs," you know, the Navy has petty officers, and chief petty officers, so they call them chiefs. He goes, "Dad, the chiefs are giving up on us. And if we don't get our shit straight, we have to do it all over. It's basically the worst. It's a workout," but he said it's the worst punishment thing. It's a card. So they do like a 52 deck. So if the TI throws a 10, you have to do 10 burpees, right? The whole bay, the whole unit. If he throws an ace, that's either 1 or like 21 reps of whatever exercise. So that's their punishment, is what he's saying. He goes, "If we fail, we get set back." So that's recycling back, you know, in basic training. You got to watch back. let's say if you were in your 7th week and you got rushed back, you went back to your 6th week and you had to redo 7th week all over it, right? He goes, Dad, I don't want to get set back. He says, they're going to have Navy SEALs yell, punish, and curse at us. People won't listen. He says, individually, I'm one of the top 5 recruits. He goes, I passed on my test. I won the drill competition. But sadly, Dad, it's a group thing. So if they're fucking up, Dad, I'm fucking up as well. He goes, let's change the topic, Dad. He started talking about some other things, you know, like retirement, blah, 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 just trying to get on there. And he goes, Dad, as I'm writing this letter right now, a swarm of drill instructors came into the compartment, destroying our racks and everything. He goes, Dad, I'm the only person in here. Yo, so he's like this, writing while they're tearing shit up. And he's writing, and he's looking, and he's writing. He's like that. I could see a tear. In my picture, I could see a tear coming down. I was hoping to see a teardrop on this paper. He goes, I'm the only person in here because I have to stay for watch, and it's very awkward. He says they're all laughing and making fun of our division, and I'm just here in the middle of the compartment. Some chiefs came up to me, Dad, at once, and they told me, let's see your rack. He said, Dad, the funny thing is, I had one of the best and cleanest racks, and they told me, good job. But again, Dad, it's a group effort. It's not just individual. So the other racks were fucked up. So guess what, Dad? I was considered a fuck up as well. I can't. Oh my God. And he wrote here. He said, they're having them do push-ups and everything. He goes, Dad, WTF? What the fuck is happening? He goes, Dad, the chief told me we're going to die today. So we have to do the workout now because my division sucks and their racks were messed up. He said all this bullshit on my birthday. It was his birthday that day that he did that. He puts LOL. He goes, but Dad, I just wanted to let you know the bad news. He goes, there's a 75% chance that I'm getting set back because of my horrible division. I won't probably see you for a while. Can you please, and really please, get in contact with my friends and explain to them what boot camp is? Dude, I can't. I honestly feel like next time we do an episode, I could read another letter, dude. Because these shits are fucking hilarious, man. I'm sitting there, like I said, we've been through the grind. We know it. We understand the TI yelling at you and everything else. But I will be damned if I was writing a letter to my mom or dad saying I'm depressed, it's hard, and everything else. So, of course, this is going to sound fucked up on us that we're laughing and everything else. But me and my brother went to the Marines. Yo, we were bawling. Dude, we were fucking rolling on the floor laughing so hard because we couldn't believe that we're reading these words from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we thought like, yeah, Dad, I'm getting yelled at. It's cool. I'm almost done. You know, a couple more weeks to go, blah, blah. Hard. Dad, I'm scared and depressed. It's so hard. It really is. Yo. Oh my God, I can't. Oh my God, I was in tears that whole time that was going on, bro. Oh man. Again,
that's why I'm not really worried about the new military because, like, even though it's a little bit like pussified, you know, every generation gets a little bit more pussified every time. It's still hard for that generation, like, you know,
right?
Like, you know, now they talk about their feelings a lot more and stuff like that, so they're more likely to say they're depressed, but. At the end of the day, the TI don't like. It's just that I'm so happy.
Don't
something's
care.
Yeah, you know, it's like and kind of that thing like I'm gonna get sent back. Is like, and it, you know, looking from our levels, like, dude, you have no idea the games they're fucking with you, man. They're just playing the games. So
That's
bad.
all. Yes, all mental because they have to wither out who's the weak.
Yeah.
Once they know who's weak, then that's easy for them to get rid of because we're not gonna graduate you if you're fucking weak-minded. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here. You're done. But the funny thing was that when my brother read that letter, the only thing he told me was, man, his penmanship is getting better. He's keeping everything in the line. The paper's all nice and neat and everything. Meanwhile, his son is pouring his heart out to him saying that he's scared. And the father said, yo, his penmanship is getting better. Oh, man. Dude, you don't know. We were dying. We were dying, man.
You know, there was a little part of him who was like, thank God he didn't go to the Marines, man. He would embarrass the family.
Yes. He would have been like, yo, devil dogs don't do shit like that. He's like, thank God he went to the Navy. Yeah. But I told him the Air Force, those words would have never came out of him, the Air Force. It would have been like, yeah, Dad, these CIs are they're trying to yell, it's bullshit, blah, blah, whatever the case. But here's the crazy thing. The irony is that me and his dad have been telling him for years and months, it's coming. You need to be prepared. Start working out. Start doing this. They're going to come at you. You need to be mentally strong. When you see your other mates fucking up, you need to step up. You need to tell them, but don't tell them like yell at them. Tell them like, hey man, we're going to get through this together. We're going to graduate together. You know, it's a team group effort because now he's seeing that they're not failing one by one. They're failing the group. Yep. If you fuck up, the whole group fucks up. If that one person in the bay, their fucking bed was messed up, the whole bay failed. You know what I'm saying? So what we used to do was we used to see who was having trouble making beds and we will help them. Let's tag team this shit. Let's get it together. Let's do it together. But now it's like they're just seeing like Hunger Games. Every man for themselves. Who the fuck is doing good and who's doing bad? If you're doing bad, get away from us. Instead of saying, hey, if you're doing bad, let's fucking train to make you better. Let's get you away from that so that way you don't have to fucking deal with that shit, man. So,
I think it's part of the struggle, though, of, like, you know, it's part of the plan, like, because you go there as all individuals. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that is part of their plan, where they kind of do that to you, so that way you find out, like, you can be shit hot all you want, but it's not individual, it's team, right? So you find that out. Correct. And then you start getting mad at the people who underperforming, and you find out it don't matter if you yell at them more, they're still going to underperform. And then you start finding out, like, hey, Johnny's good at doing this. How about Johnny helps that person out? How about I got this guy, I'm good at folding underwear or whatever shit, or Correct. Rolling or whatever they're doing now. But you start finding out, like, hey, man, how about I just help? And I think that it's part of the pain that comes through it is you got to fail. Not only do you fail, but they're going to make fun of you the entire time. You know you're failing. And you could be the shit hot person, but you start finding out, like, guess what? I'm a failure no matter what I do because it's a team sport. And that's why I do. I wonder if that's how the military was started. Like when they thought it out, some guy was a genius and was like, all right, we're going to have this, and that in phases, or it's human nature. Not too sure. But I mean, I think that's when we all get out. That's why I'm always surprised. Like, you know, since the moment we entered the military, it's been always a team environment. Correct. And I'm always amazed that when we get out, our stupid asses literally start saying, like, I'm going to do it myself. Like, I'm just going to, like, I've had all this training. I've done all this as a team. Guess what? I'm going to do this on my own. I can figure it out on my own. And it's like, man, we thrive on that environment of, like, I'm good at this. You're not good at that. Let me help you with this. I'm not good at this. Let's tag team it. And it's like we thrive in that organization environment. And so I'm glad that it's still happening right now. It's fucking hilarious because I wanted to be a TI. Always wanted to be, but I wonder sometimes. I know they're exhausted beyond belief, but I wonder sometimes they go home and be like, "This motherfucker had me dying on the inside." These little goofy little bastards are scared, like they're terrified.
You know they make for great conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like they're sitting there with the other TI buddies, opening up some drinks, and they're like, "Yo, you're not gonna believe in my flight. I had this fucking knucklehead doing A, B, and C." You know what I'm saying? Like, because even when we went through it, like, me and my other, like, the mates that I was with, it was always like, hey, Izzy, let's do your bed, and then help me with my bed. Yeah, let's do it. Because, you know, we would get on the beds, pull the covers, get them nice and tight, clear out the dust bunnies and all that stuff. But if you just did it by yourself, you were there forever. It felt like forever you trying to get your shit squared away, making sure your locker was good. So we're like, fuck it, let's tag team this, knock it out, all right? And then once we did our lockers, we switch, all right? Now look at mine, I'll look at yours, you know, just in case we didn't miss anything. Dude, by the time the TI came around, he walked around, and they would just get mad because they was like, yo, there's nothing for me to fucking yell at them because everybody, all the fucking racks in the lockers look good. So they would just make shit up just to fucking be assholes. You know what I'm saying? But man, I don't know. It's just hilarious because, you know, it just brought back memories of us when we went through boot camp and everything. And I was like, I don't recall ever feeling that bad, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the TI might have yelled here and there. And I've had my fair share of fucking dumbasses. Like, people that I was look at them and be like, man, I hope this motherfucker gets washed back because he's a fucking idiot. No matter how much we helped them, they were just still some that were just complete idiots. But it's just funny because, again, like I said, we try to prep them, man. We were giving you the tools. We were giving you the words. We were advising you to do this, to do that. And now all of a sudden, you're fucking realizing now that it's happening, you're like, man, I should have fucking listened. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that he's seeing that. Like, I'm glad he's understanding that, dude, with, you know, when your parents or your family members or even your friends are telling you things, take it to heart. You know what I'm saying? Don't just fucking let it come in one ear and out the other. Like, be sincere that they want to share these stuff with you. Because I told them, I was like, dude, we have a lot of friends that are in the Navy that we could call, ask questions. If you need help with anything, that they're willing to help you because they know us. You know, you're really not going through this alone. But if you choose to do it alone, then yeah, it's gonna be fucking tough for you. You know what I'm saying?